throughout this game, we've been fighting the frankly sparse Covenant troops just kind of around watching the grass grow and waiting for Master Chief so that they could do something about it. At the end of this trek, we find the massive Covenant gunship containing the WMD that'll secure the humans' destruction, so we must break it by shooting at it with our gun, because apparently it's not armored for some reason. Basically, it's a giant version of a Space Invaders enemy with the same shoot where it's going strategy to beat it, and honestly, compared to the rest of the game, it's quite a pushover with only 3 shots to kill it, and with it dead, the short story and experimental game is over. Now, I'm doing this game review simply because of the name attached and because it's an interesting case of how it became developed. The story I heard, and you can comment if I'm wrong, was that this game was created by one of Halo's original developers after he read a book somewhere that inspired him to create an iteration on an ancient game console, in this case, the Atari 2600, and for Ed Free's credit, Halo 2600 is a cute idea, and I can tell that there was definitely a lot of effort to try and make this thing happen. The two-life gameplay and art direction definitely gives it that old-school retro feel, as well as being painfully unforgiving in the later parts when the Zealots and upgraded Jackals get involved. It's got a simple 2-button control scheme going for it, and all that retro trimmings mean that a successful run in this game will take you less than 10 minutes before you get to the boss, which is basically a large blob of texture and incredibly visually confusing. Overall, it looks well done for the 2600 standards, especially with Master Chief himself, who has the best sprite in the game. I wish there were some things that would change, like enemies spawning right next to the entrance of some rooms, and maybe give us a third life to play with, because 2 is a bit dicky, especially in the last section of game, which is just turret and super jackal hell. Halo 2600 isn't going to enthrall anybody, and I wouldn't recommend it to really anybody unless they could get an emulator running so that they can avoid the whole live system thing. If you were gonna start playing this, I'd suggest playing it like Candy Crush. Give it a couple of attempts, spend 15 minutes in it, and then leave it alone for a day and come back, because this game really can't be played recreationally, simply because it's so short and unforgiving at the same time. But again, props to Mr. Freeze for putting it together and giving it the old college try, yet it doesn't get away from the sum total of this game being a cute idea. Victory for gamers, everybody!